all coiled up. Are you... Help us! Kuma Parade. I can do that.
The flame.
Little spider bites.
Hello everyone, I'm the 5-minute reviewer, and today I'm going to review the game Shadow Gambit The Cursed Crew, made by the same developers who made Shadow Tactics series. Now, Shadow Gambit continues the same vein in this genre, where it's a stealth tactics game where you generally avoid a lot of enemies to reach a final objective. Now, is it fun? Is it worth playing? I'll tell you all this in 5 minutes. First, I'll start with presentation, which is the sight and sounds of the game. Now, to me, the sights and the sounds achieve what they needed to achieve in the game, which is to give me enough information to know what my next move is and what is happening on screen. The developers, following in their same vein of their previous projects, gave a lot of cues like sight cones to know where the guards are looking at, but also added a few more nifty tricks like there are day and night cycles where you can go off and achieve certain objectives, and the objectives vary in difficulty because at night it's harder for the enemies to see you. And of course, the variety of enemies and how they differ from each other is very obvious in the game. And the environments are very varied. Whether you are playing in the jungle or build-up area or prison fortress, they're all very obvious in the game. So in summary, this game looks good and sounds good. So let's move on to my next criteria, which is the story. This story is a low fantasy story where it takes place in an age similar to our version of the golden age of piracy. Now you play as a group of undead pirates trying to undo the power of the Inquisition, which looks like our Roman Catholic Church or the Spanish Empire of our time. Now the problem is that you start off with limited resources, where the Inquisition has many objects of power and actually kidnaps some of your crew members, so that you need to liberate them or liberate the objects of power in order for you to finally strike a blow towards the Inquisition. And I must say, this game, even though it's not easy, but it gives you a lot of tools to succeed. And I'll cover that more in the gameplay chapter. Now, the gameplay, as I described in the introduction, is largely similar to Shadow Tactics. You have a group of up to 3 characters when you have to stealth your way to reach the objective. Whether the objective is to steal something or commit an assassination, the ultimate goal is to do it stealthily and attract as little attention as possible. Otherwise, more guards will come, making your job even more difficult. The amount of tools they give you to achieve that is way more from their previous games of Shadow Tactics. For example, in Shadow Gambit, you have an undead ninja cook who can teleport from place to place, which tremendously helps you in doing silent assassination and quickly moving yourself away from the site of attack. You also have a chain-smoking crew who has the ability to possess other enemies so they can sneak your way through sensitive areas undetected. So Shadow Gambit has a lot of resources for you to achieve the objectives no matter how hard it is. Another thing I personally like is that you get to choose your starting position on the map so that you can figure out what's the optimal way for you to achieve all the objectives according to how you want to play the game. And I quite appreciate it from a standpoint of a strategy player. Now, the most difficult thing about me to say about the game is to give it a final score. At all hands and matrices, it is way better than the previous games of Shadow Tactics. And yet, I find myself enjoying Shadow Tactics a bit more. Maybe because I don't really enjoy the pirate setting, or the Inquisition doesn't seem that evil to me, because the evil church trope has been carried out again and again, and it becomes a bit too cliche. Nevertheless, I will give this game a final score about 8.10, which is the same score I gave the 2015 game Shadow Tactics, as mentioned before. Maybe because I preferred Shadow Tactics setting in Imperial Japan, or I found the characters more compelling, but Generally speaking, I just couldn't get into the game of Shadow Gambit, even though there's nothing inherently wrong with the game. Okay, I'm finishing up this review. Thank you everyone and have a good week ahead. Bye bye!